share with you from the writer of Ecclesiastes. There is a time for everything, a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. And in his years, Barron experienced many of those things. And we give thanks today for all those stories that everybody's carrying around inside or outside of all those things you shared with him. The love that you shared with him. And I got to tell you, grandkids, you guys were the apple of his eye. And that big picture he had in his room, that was, you know, he just loved pointing to that. That's my grandkids right there. And then he'd tell the story where the picture was taken. And just having everybody all together, that just made his day. And like Barry said, you know, Barry, when he was at Friendship Village, he didn't care who you were. He'd just hang out with whoever. And, you know, he'd just strike up a conversation with anybody. And lots of times he'd come down front to where the concierge and front desk were. And he and the concierge at the time had a pretty good relationship. They'd be bantering back and forth about stuff and where he was walking off to that day. And when he was going to check in. He liked going down to the golf course and hanging out with the buddies down there. But you know, when he was in the health center, he just loved the staff and whoever talked to him. You know, he just, a lot of times you'd walk in and he'd just be standing out in the middle of the hall talking to whoever came by, you know, and just laughing and having a good time. And he liked doing things his way. He didn't like those things that tied him down, like the oxygen tank and stuff. He'd just flip it off and I don't need that. But, you know, he was a guy who just brought a lot of smiles to people's faces. And liked to laugh and joke around and tease. And you know, when he'd be out in the hall or somebody would be taking care of him, he just brought smiles to people's faces. You know, because he didn't give you a hard time unless he's giving you a hard time to tease you. But, you know, he just enjoyed life and enjoyed the people around him. And I think there's not a whole lot to say after Barry got done. But, you know, he just liked having a good time. We had garden parties at the village. And we encourage everybody to bring a hat. We have a contest who has the most funky hat. And Barrett won one year. He had this huge sombrero. And man, he was proud of that. We got some great pictures of him with that. And you know, he's one of those people that, like Barry and I were talking the other day, he doesn't come off as pretentious. You know, he doesn't say, hey, I was a big shot, you know, or anything like that. He just is who he is, just a down-home guy. And I didn't know what you were going to put on the cards out there, but as I was preparing for today, I came across that same Emerson quote that you have on the cards. And I think this sums Barron up pretty well. To laugh often and love much. to win the respect of intelligent persons and the affection of children, to earn the approbation of honest citizens and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to give of oneself, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, a redeemed social condition, to have played and laughed with enthusiasm and sung with exultation, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. And I think Barrett would say, it's not about how much money you make or anything like that along the way. It's how much you love and how much you leave behind. There's a poem called What Will Matter? Ready or not, someday it will all come to an end. There'll be no more sunrises, no minutes, hours, or days. All the things you collected, whether treasured or forgotten, will pass to someone else. Your wealth, fame, and temporal power will shrivel to irrelevance. It will not matter what you owned or what you owed. Your grudges, resentments, frustrations, jealousy will disappear. So too your hopes, ambitions, plans, and to-do lists will expire. The wins and losses that once seemed so important will fade away. It won't matter where you came from or what side of the tracks you lived on at the end. It won't matter whether you were beautiful or brilliant. Even your gender and skin color will be irrelevant. So what will matter? How will the value of your days be measured? What will matter is not what you bought, but what you built. Not what you got, but what you gave. What will matter is not your success, but your significance. What will matter is not what you learned, but what you taught. What will matter is every act of integrity, compassion, courage, or sacrifice that enriched, empowered, or encouraged others to emulate your example. What will matter is not your competence, but your character. What will matter is not how many people you knew, but how many will feel a lasting loss when you're gone. What will matter is not your memories, but the memories that live in those who loved you. What will matter is how long you will be remembered, by whom, and for what. Living a life that matters doesn't happen by accident. It's not a matter of circumstance, but of choice. Choose to live the life that matters. There's an old story about a man who got up at a funeral and he was talking about his friend. And when we go to the cemetery today, there'll be stones around with people's names on them, birthday, death date. And you know what? Those are important days we remember, days that, mark our entrance and our exit into the world. But what really matters is that little dash in between those years that says, this is what my life was all about. I think, Barrett would probably agree with me that how you live your dash is what matters. And the impressions you leave behind. To be kind and courteous, to have fun, to embrace life, to seize the moment, and to leave it better than when you came into it. I think those are the things that Barrett would tell us were important. And to love your family, and to keep them close. And so today, we give thanks to God for sharing Barrett with us, for the love that he shared, the lessons that he taught, the fun that we all had, and the example that he gave to us. I want to just share this little prayer. It's called Prayer for the Game of Life. Dear God, help me to be a good sport in the game of life. I don't ask for an easy place in the lineup. Please put me anywhere you need me. I only ask that I can give you 100% of everything I have. If all the hard drives seem to come my way, I thank you for the compliment. Help me to remember that you never send a player more trouble than he can handle with your help. And help me, Lord, to accept the bad breaks as part of the game. May I always play on the square no matter what others do. Help me study the books so I know the rules. Finally, God, if the natural turn of events goes against me, and I am benched for sickness or old age, help me accept that as part of the game too. Keep me from whimpering that I was framed or I got a raw deal. And when I finish the final inning, I ask for no laurels. All I want is to believe in my heart I played as well as I could, and that I didn't let you down. Let us pray.